injury. We wish both players, McLean and Chung Hanbin, a speedy recovery. Artino for the two-handed plus.
After a long wait, the ASEAN Basketball League is back in our lives, and the KL Dragons emerge with a big Friday night victory against their rivals, the Singapore Slingers. We'll talk about that big game and a lot more on this latest episode of ABL Recap.
Subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified of the latest videos of the ABL. Follow all of our social media accounts and visit our website for more updates.
It's good to have all of you back in our lives, just like the ASEAN Basketball League, and it's good to have another episode of ABL Recap that we can talk about this latest Friday night game. You got Chuck Araneta together with Yo Sarmenta, and Yo, the last time I was here, I was talking about the Slingers and the Dragons, and now a week later, and we're still talking about the Slingers and the Dragons. And the interesting thing is nothing's changed. It's still the KL Dragons that picked up the win 70-67, led by another brilliant, dominating performance from Will Artino with 25 and 16. And you know, before we started this episode, we were looking at some numbers that sort of could tell the story of how the Dragons have come away with a winning record after so many years of struggles in the ABL after winning their championship.
I think one of the surprises of this season is the defense of the KL Dragons. They hold opponents to 78.2 points, which is good for first in the league. So they came into this matchup as the best team to hold down opponents, and that was true enough today. Today, the Slingers shot an atrocious 31% from the field, couldn't find the bottom of the net. Marcus Elliott again had trouble with the shots. So again, credit to the defense of the Dragons.
You know, the difference with these two teams rather is that we know that the Slingers will play at a slow pace, and then they're going to limit the number of possessions, and that's the way they're comfortable playing. But you look at this Dragons team, and that's not necessarily the case. They enjoy flying up and down the court. They like hunting for 3-pointers from K. Davis or from posting inside with Will Artino, who can use his size and athleticism. So in a way, it makes it more impressive, this defense of the Dragons, because they've been able to hold teams consistently and force really tough shots in different kinds of games, whether it's in fast tempo or slow down games.
That's a very good point. When you think about, let's say, the Slingers, as we've been mentioning throughout this couple of episodes in ABL Recap, the Slingers love to hold opponents, drag opponents really to grind it out games.
Wrestling match.
Yes, exactly. The Dragons, not necessarily. They hold their own on defensively, but to your point, they love to run, they love to shoot the three. They don't necessarily make the three, but at least they love taking it. And we go back to the fact that they just know how to win down the stretch. As evident as Friday's game, when the chips were down, they went to Amir Bell, they went to Ching Chen-Hua, and Simeon Lepikchev. So all those guys just know when to hit their stride.
Artino has been the most consistent import, arguably, of the entire league right now. But who would you say is the most important player on the Dragons team? Is it Artino's consistency, or is it Bell's knack of always being able to create his own shot down the stretch for you?
I would rather go with Artino. Artino's numbers speaks for themselves. And Friday night's game, Amir Bell finished with just 8 points. He hit the dagger too. He hit some clutch shots throughout the season. But again, I'd rather go with Will Artino's 25 points, 16 rebounds. If you can have your import score 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds every single game, that's huge. And you can't say it for all the imports of the entire league. So Will Artino is a gem right now.
You always get the feeling when you're looking at a guy like Amir Bell that there's always that potential for him to do more. But he's done a great job of sort of reining back his game a little bit in terms of scoring and finding guys like Artino or even K. Davis, who has been struggling as of late from the 3-point line, but has also been finding different kinds of ways to contribute to his team, although the defense of the Slingers really locked him down. Now on the other side for Singapore, the debut of their New World import in Jamil McKay, who replaced Anthony McLean, who was brought down to the injured list. And Solid numbers for McKay in his debut. Finished with 18 points, 13. Check that.
10
that's 10 points rather. 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. But it's clear, as with most world imports, that it's not easy to just be thrown into the fire midway through the season, especially against Will Artino, who really will not waste any time trying to test you in the blow block where he likes to do his damage.
One of the things that stood out for the debut of McKay, he was explosive, yes, he was athletic, yes, he got a couple of dunks, couple of tough layups, but he was in foul trouble, and he eventually fouled out late in the game, and you could see really that he was adjusting not just to the pace of an ABL game and not just to the system of the Slingers, but really to the calls of the referees. I think he was adjusting what's a ticky-tack foul, what's a foul in the post, etc., etc. And you're right, Artino took full advantage of a guy who just came into this new team. And for McKay, 10 points, 8 rebounds, I guess it's okay for a debut. It's not as solid as we would like it to be, but yeah, it's solid for McKay.
There were some flashes, especially when they went to the high ball screen, and then there was some pick and roll action between him and Xavier Alexander. But yeah, I mean, they had some time to practice because of the long break in the ABL season. But so obviously it's different when you're actually out there on the floor and against opponents. So the question now is if McKay is the right fit for this team, because with McLean, although he did have his struggles, you could at least know what you're getting from him. You're getting a guy who can protect the paint and who can score off of offensive rebounds. And for McKay, I guess the question right now is how will his game fit? Because he likes to operate off the ball. He likes to receive the ball from guys like Alexander and Elliott. And speaking of Alexander and Elliott, boy, it has been a tough stretch for this team. This is now their third straight loss. Yeah. And I guess if you're gonna be, looking to find the problems of a team, the natural mindset would be maybe it's the world imports, maybe they're not producing. But can you place this on Elliott and Xavier Alexander?
I guess it's a little bit of both. For one, the locals have not stepped up. Delvin Go, Leon Quek, Desmond O, and even across the board, actually, even guys like Lim, they have not been producing consistently. When you talk about the imports, they have been producing well, but it's the efficiency. If you look at Elliott's numbers, 18 points, 13 rebounds, those are good numbers. And then you go deeper, he shot 26% against the Dragons last night. So you want efficiency from your world imports, and then just any kind of production from Leon Quek. Yeah, he did have 8 points, but you want that. You want those 3 threes from Quek. Delvin Go, his points, 4 points, 2 out of 5 shots is not enough, basically. So a lot of minor problems, I would say, for Singapore Slingers. They're not in panic mode yet, but they will be. So they have to start winning soon.
Well, the thing about the Slingers is they're currently in 7th place with a 7-10 record. The Macau Wolf Warriors are still waiting for their time to get back in action. They have a 5-8 card, so they're still comfortably in the playoffs. They're basically trying to hold off right now the Hong Kong Eastern basketball team with a 3-7 record and the Saigon Heat with 3-11. But the thing is about the Slingers, this is not an ordinary team that just wants to get into the playoffs. We've seen this team for many years. If I'm not mistaken, it's 3 out of the last 4 seasons that they made it to the finals. So there's a certain level of excellence that is expected from this Slinger squad, especially when you have former MVPs and Marcus Elliott and Xavier Alexander. And that's why for a lot of people, it's just been so strange why the two have not just, really sort of excelled or gelled the way that they expected. And it's only going to get tougher because their next match is on Sunday, and they are going to take on San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and the debuting Justin Brownlee. So, boy, there was a long break for the Slingers, and now they're right back into it, and it's going to be a tough grind for them this weekend.
So hopefully, Jamil McKay gets his groove going.
He's gotta.
I think we haven't seen his full potential yet, and we haven't seen how much he's grown as a player. Maybe he's a pick and pop guy now. Maybe he's better off the ball. So we don't know, as much as there's anticipation with Justin Brownlee, and we forgot to mention former Slinger John Fields.
Sure, that's right.
So a lot of high-profile imports for that matchup. But really, for the Slinger side, they just really have to figure out amongst themselves what kind of style they want to play now with McKay in the fold.
Yeah, the thing about the Slingers, though, whenever you count them out, they always find a way to just claw themselves back, and it's because of their elite defense. Now they're trying to see if their offense can match that as well. So just to give you guys the standings once again, it's the Dragons now in solo control of third place with a 10-7 record, while the Slingers fall to 7-10. They will face San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, which is actually our next game on March 8th. That is going to be on Sunday, as Alab Pilipinas with a 10-6 record, trying to still stay within that top 2 spot as they try to chase the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. So of course, if you want to catch that game on live stream or all of the videos, please feel free to check all of our social media platforms at the ASEAN Basketball League. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and everything else that you can think of. The ABL is probably there. And that's also where you'll be able to find the next episode of ABL Recap. So for Yo Sarmenta, my name is Chuck Araneta, and we will see you on the next one.